decathlon at the Olympic Games. Rome 1960, he got the big one, the gold. But in getting that gold, he put on one of the most memorable struggles ever seen at the Olympic Games with his schoolmate and teammate C.K. Yang. For example, Rafer Johnson turned up a lifetime best in the 1,500 meters to just edge C.K. Yang by 58 points. It took a world record performance to win that gold medal in the decathlon, but Rafer Johnson was equal to it. And he talks about the changes needed for the Olympics, for the sake of them.
I think that some of the major changes they need to make, I think that there's a little too much nationalism. I think it doesn't matter where you're from or what country you represent. I mean, we all know, and we're, patriotic, but it's important when you go there that you go there to exchange ideas and not to force what you feel and think on someone else. But I think the Olympic Games, no matter what happens, they're still the greatest sporting spectacle in the world today.
Okay, let's see what our former decathlon champion and my neighbor can do here at 210 pounds.
You trying to say you're pulling him a little harder than the next guy?
No, he doesn't need my help, but he needed something right there, didn't he? Rafer's going at 210.
I saw both of you guys put your earplugs in 10 pounds ago. So I knew you were getting ready for me.
Well, you went up, though, from the last time.
Yeah, a little better than last time, They keep me coming down here a couple of years. I'll do all right.
Okay, Ray.
Thanks, Steve.
Now we're looking at Tucker Frederickson, the former running back of the New York Giants. Tucker with very good form should not have any trouble here at 210, and he certainly doesn't. That pretty lady you saw in the inset there is sitting right there really cheering him on. I think Tucker's even surprised Zachy Murphy. I didn't think Zachy thought he was that stout. All right, here's Bob Rigby now with his wife Dale looking on.
She's got to be a help, doesn't she? Pretty.
Very pretty girl.
These soccer players never cease to amaze me. They're so strong, so good, and they just keep doing things that you can hardly believe.
Right. Bob Rigby weighs about 170 pounds, and he just cleared 210, and he's doing it without very much help out of his legs. Now we're going to have Mike Schmidt coming up there, that big third baseman, a home run hitter.
You know I'm pulling for him, obviously, because I'm a baseball player, and we got a little something in common with those home runs and that long ball. All right, Mike.
You really are partial, aren't you?
I got to be.
Okay, Mike does just fine with it. Now, Lou Ferrigno. No problem. Takes an awful wide split, though. There's some of the youngsters that Lou Ferrigno's been working with while here in Florida. They're part of the Special Olympics group. Nice bunch of youngsters. And this guy right here, that big guy, is some kind of a youngster himself. And here's his primary competition in the weightlifting, shot putter Brian Oldfield.
I think we noticed earlier, Keith, that Brian got a little quiet when the weight got around 210 pounds, 220 pounds. And, of course, it's time to get serious right now.
Well, this is certainly 10 points that he really needs, and he figures if he pays attention to what he's doing, he can get. 230 pounds now for Tucker Frederickson.
Tucker only weighs about 205, 210 pounds, so he's already over his weight and impressing him.
It's very good form. He's been getting some help somewhere, getting some coaching, I'm sure. I tell you, I'd like to see this Rigby get concentrated course and technique. He might really be something.
No question about it. He uses all of his arms, upper body right now, and when you get into high weight, you've got to get something out of your legs.
Can't quite get it up. So Bob Ridley leaves us at 230 pounds.
Bobby, for a guy that weighs 170 pounds, that's a lot of weight, 220 pounds. You missed at 230.
It's the best I ever did. That's what I wanted to do, 220, so I'm pleased, really.
You looked like you were pressing the weight. You didn't have too much technique. Were you spotting these big guys a little advantage?
Well, no, not that. I've, they've been trying to help me with the technique, and I just haven't been able to pick it up. So I hope, like it maybe in a year, I can throw a little more weight.
Next year. All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Bob Rigby's gone, and here's Mike Schmidt. Oh, well, he had a little pause, a little hitch in that one.
No, he did. No, he did. No, he did.
He got his 230 up all right to stay in it. Everybody figures to become spectators, though, before Ferrigno and Oldfield.
That's right. These guys can swear like it looks heavy, don't you think?
I thought Ken Norton had a pretty good line the other day. He was looking at Ferrigno in the preliminary, and Norton said, "Are you sure he's lifting the same bar I am?" Oldfield, all right, at 230. So we've got 4 lifters left now, and we're going to move it up to 240 pounds.
Now set strong man away from the man.
Well, let's see here.
Tucker's got great technique. When you get this much weight on the bar, Keith, it's very, very important that you have technique. And not that much comes out of your upper body and your arms. You've got to get under the weight with your body and get that split going so you can get the weight off of using and taxing, as I said, so much of your upper body. Your legs are 5 times, or at least 5 times, stronger than your arms are. This is the most weight that Mike has ever attempted. He was 225 pounds in the preliminary.
And he can't handle 240. So Mike Schmidt leaves us at 240. That leaves us with 3 lifters now, unless something happens to Ferrigno and Oldfield at 240, and I doubt very seriously if it will. Nope. Those youngsters are really cheering for their hero, Ferrigno. Sitting right behind him. All right, Oldfield now, 240. Oh, boom, up it goes. Well, we'll just put more weight on it and see how high we can go in just a moment.
250.
Preliminary competition at only 190, and frankly, I'm along with the crowd. I'm surprised Tucker's still going at 260.
Not so myself, Keith, because he kind of played at 190 pounds in the preliminary, and of course, I expect him to go around 260.
Well, he's just done it. 260 pounds for Tucker Frederickson. Now the 2 big guys are coming up. Lou Ferrigno, well, that's not all that positive, was it? But he got it up, and he held it just fine and stays in at 260. And this 24-year-old is fast becoming a major story in athletics. 2-time Mr. Universe, winning in 73 and again in 1974, and proving here at the Superstars that he is no ordinary athlete. He lost most of his hearing when he was 3 years of age from an ear infection, but he dug in as a little guy. He went to limb reading school and found his way into bodybuilding. At age 14, he was 5'11", 150 pounds. Today, he powers 6'5", and when he won his second Mr. Universe title, he weighed right about 280 pounds. He's a sheet metal mechanic, and he is very good at his trade. It took some special grit for him to fight his way past the lack of hearing growing up, but he talks forthrightly about it.
That's true, but actually, I have 2 things to fight for. First, I had to compete with the normal kids as far as being left down in the crowd. They always put me back in the classroom, but since I was hard of hearing, it always gave me that extra determination to succeed, and that's why I felt that if I could cope with the normal kids, and since going to this, besides with the universe, and trying to prove that I'm an athlete, with the aid of my discipline, it just helped me to be a great person, which I always wanted to be.